Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Denisya Maharani and my student number is 0113042011, and in this video I will explain some basic reading materials. Okay, the first material is about creative and critical thinking. There are two types of thinking skills. The first is lower order thinking skills or LOTS. LOTS is how to gather information by remembering, understanding, and applying the material or the information that you read. And the second is HOTS or high order thinking skills. HOTS is how to gather information and thinking critically by analyzing, evaluating, and synthesizing the information that you read. What are the strengths and weaknesses of LOTS and HOTS? I think that both LOTS and HOTS have strengths and weaknesses. If we use LOTS, we can more focus with the material, and also our references material will be same with what our teacher gave at school. But the weaknesses of LOTS makes us less critical because we just learn and remembering the material and we don't explore more. And also the memory of the material we don't last long. So what are the strengths of HOTS? HOTS makes us more critical, creative, and logic. But the weaknesses of HOTS will be easier to apply and understand to someone that have good cognitive skill, but not everyone have it. So they will face a lot of difficulties to applying this thinking skill. In Indonesia, HOTS has been implemented since curriculum 2013, and I think that it's a good choice to implement HOTS in teaching learning at school in Indonesia, because compared to other countries, Indonesia is ranked low in Program for International Student Assessment or PISA. It means that Indonesia is lagging behind in the quality of education. In my opinion, implementation of HOTS in Indonesia is deserved to be appreciated. But I think there are still many of things that need to be considered for the implementation in this pandemic. All the stakeholders and educators should find HOTS-based learning methods in this pandemic, and also the students should take part to make it succeed. The second topic is about reading. So what's the definition of reading? Reading is the process of looking at a series of reading symbols and getting meaning from them. And I think that reading is very important in our life because from reading we can get a lot of information, knowledges, and experiences. And also reading gives me opportunity to see and to know the world from different perspectives, and also let me to imagine and feel a lot of emotion. And sometimes reading entertains me from boredom. And here are some benefits of reading. 1. Reading opens your mind. 2. Reading helps us better in conversation. 3. Reading relaxes you. 4. Reading helps you to make decisions better. 5. Reading can develop your personality. 6. We can get a lot of information, experience, and knowledge and measured by successful for very cheap price. Reading helps you to sleep. Reading improves your concentration. Reading improves your memory, and reading is food for our brain. Bad reading material is reading material that have bad effect for our life. The information that we read will be processed and stored in our brain. That's why you have to choose the reading material that's suitable with our age, the mental health, and etc. Because what our brain consumes will affect the way we think, believe, and behave, especially for children. And the reading material that are not suitable for children are those that contain pornography, violence, criminal, and etc. Indonesia ranks 62 out of 70 countries related to literacy levels, and to improve our literacy levels, government has issued some policies, for example, Gerakan Literasi Nasional, and some of schools in Indonesia have implemented this policy. For example, when I was in junior high school, my teacher always asked the student to read books 15 minutes before we start the class, and then the teacher will ask the student what they have read today. And I think that this activity is really helpful to improve our literacy levels. And the third topic is about fiction. The definition of fiction is a literature created from imagination and not presented as a fact. For example, like fairy tale, fable, novel, and etc. There are a lot of fiction works like novel or fairy tale adapted into a movie, but the story of the film is way different from the original story. For example, there are a lot of Disney movies that adapted story from fiction works like novel, but in the Disney movie, the story that shown in the movie is more general. For example, is Tangled. In that movie, Rapunzel and the prince live happily ever after. But in the original story, at the end, Rapunzel has dark story. She doesn't marry the prince and the prince be blind homeless. When adapting fairy tale or other fiction works into a movie, the story usually change. But in my opinion, the difference of the story doesn't really matter for me. If the movie still entertain me and I still can get the feels of that film. And I think that the change in the story has been adjusted to several things such as target audience, budget, and duration of the film. Okay, that's all my explanation. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.